Datta Sri Guru Datta Jai Guru 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 Datta Sri Guru Datta.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadgurubhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Guru Datta and welcome to Datta Arpanam with your hosts Rishi Nirvan Barup
and Ravita Singh. Jai Guru Datta, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Parama Pujya Dr. Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji of Avadhuta Dattapitam in Mysuru. Today's program begins with the offering of pranams, gratitude, and this invocation prayer at the sacred feet of beloved Sadgurudeva Pujya Shri Swamiji, as this program, possible only through His divine grace, is offered to him. Please join His second-in-command, Pujya Shri 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 Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji now in worship.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gururdevo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Bhuyuta Shri Hari Chinnhitabhyam Agastya Rekhadibhiranchitabhyam Nigodha Bijakshara Mudritabhyam Namo Namah Sadguru Padukabhyam. गणपति गुरुमेकं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं विबुधनिवहसेव्यं योगमार्गाधिरूढं शरणमुपगतानामार्तिसङ्घाद्रिवज्रं मम हृदयनिवासं भक्तिनम्रो नमामि Bhaktinamro Namami.
Once again everyone, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to this morning's episode of Datta Arpanam. Today's program is being brought to you through the kind courtesy of Ramlal Educational Institute of number 12 Exchange Lots Couva, Valini's Drug Mart Limited of 58 to 60 Sutton Street, San Fernando, Debe Supermart Limited of 182 SS Erin Road, Debe, and Koke Supermart Limited of 14 Naparima Miaro Road, San Fernando.
On last week's Saraswati Jayanti episode of Datta Arpanam, you heard that Sri Krishna, a devotee of goddess Saraswati, rushed to help others even before he was asked to do so. Well, this is a practice we should all incorporate into our lives. And one very simple way to do this is by sharing food with others.
And while, yes, it is a noble act to share food with the less fortunate, as the free app SGS Posts teaches, sharing your food counts as annadanam if you simply feed anyone who is hungry.
Lately, this topic of annadanam is one which Ganapati Swamiji or Pujya Appaji has been raising more than usual. While on his recent tour of the Andhra region of India, it seemed like he was bringing up the importance of annadanam on most days.
But Appaji's appreciation for annadanam is not particularly surprising. After all, when we study his life story, it is easy to understand why this subject, the subject of giving food in charity or sharing one's food, is a subject which is so dear to his heart.
Of course, with Pujya Appaji being not just an avadhuta, but an avadhuta of Lord Dattatreya, none of us can be certain of the reasons behind his words and actions. But today, on Datta Arpanam, by delving into his life history and looking at events which may have helped to shape his views on annadanam, it is hoped that we will all have a better appreciation for and an inclination to perform the noble charity known as annadanam or the gifting of food.
Just as we wash our hands to cleanse them before we eat, the raga Rishya Ketu Priya purifies our surroundings. Let us all join now and sing the bhajan Pranava Swarupam, which is set to the Rishya Ketu Priya ragam. You can find the words to this bhajan by entering bhajan ID number 25 on the Bhajanmala app or website.
The bhajan offers worship to Lord Ganapati, the one whose form is Pranava or Omkara, and who bestows siddhis or spiritual powers like anima or the power to reduce oneself to an infinitely small size. It worships Lord Ganapati as the chief remover of obstacles, the son of Girija and Shiva, the king of the universe whose feet are worshipped by the body of yogic attendants, and the one who is of the form of truth, knowledge, and bliss. Once again, everyone, the bhajan ID number is 25.
Pranavaswarupam Panirajabhusham Animadisiddhiprad Sri Vignarajam 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 Pranavaswarupam Ganaraja Yogi Ganavandya Padam Ganaraja Ganaraja Yogi Ganavandya Padam Ganaraja Yogi Ganavandya Padam Pranamami Girija Shivanandanandanam Pranamami Girija Shivanandanandanam Pranavaswarupam Panirajabhusham Animadisiddhiprad Sri Vignarajam Pranavaswarupam Panirajabhusham Animadisiddhiprad Sri Vignarajam Pranavaswarupam Ganaraja Yogi Ganavandya Padam Ganaraja Yogi Ganavandya वन्द्यापादौ प्रणमामि गिरिजा शिवनन्दनन्दनं प्रणमामि गिरिजा शिवनन्दनन्दनं
स्वरूपं फणिराजभूषं मणिमादिसिद्धिप्रद श्रीविघ्नराजम्
स्वरूपं फणिराजभूषं मणिमादिसिद्धिप्रद श्रीविघ्नराजं
स्वरूपं फणिराजभूषं मणिमादिसिद्धिप्रद श्रीविघ्नराजम्
प्रणवस्वरूपम् गणराज योगी गण वन्द्यापादौ गणराज योगी गण वन्द्यापादौ प्रणमामि गिरिजा श्री सच्चिदानन्द श्री सच्चिदानन्द
प्रणवस्वरूपं फणिराजभूषं मणिमादिसिद्धिप्रद श्रीविघ्नराजम् प्रणवस्वरूपं फणिराजभूषं मणिमादिसिद्धिप्रद श्रीविघ्नराजम्
Ganapati Swamiji, also known as Pujya Appaji, has said that if in our upasana or our process of worship we manage to climb the first step, the divine will somehow show us the remaining steps. How fortunate we are that bhajans like that one, Vedanta put to song, give us that foundation, that first step towards knowing Lord Ganapati.
Bhajans like that one teach us the phenomenon of Lord Ganapati. By the grace of Ganapati Swamiji, when we contemplate upon those words and their meanings again and again, we will hopefully come to know Lord Ganapati.
You were just listening to Ganapati Swamiji here on Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to this Sunday morning hour of devotion, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Pujya Sri Swamiji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. Today, as you heard a little earlier, inspired by Pujya Appaji's emphasis on Annadanam over recent weeks in particular, we will take a look at how Annadanam has been a subject which must have been dear to him for a very long time.
Pujya Appaji as a child was known as Satyanarayana. When Satyanarayana was a baby, his mother and first guru, Mata Jayalakshmi, would impart valuable knowledge to him through song. But as baby Satyanarayana became a little older, Mata Jayalakshmi would sometimes teach him important lessons by telling him stories instead of singing to him.
Sometimes, to cajole Satyanarayana to eat his food, Amma would take him to the top of the house where he could see the moon, and she would tell him stories while feeding him. Stories like this one. See how big the moon has grown today? Mata Jayalakshmi asked Satyanarayana. 10 days ago, it was so small. But do you know why he has grown so big? It is because the gods in heaven have given him amrita or nectar. The moon ate all of that amrita and he has grown so strong.
Do you know what the moon is going to do in the next few days? Mata Jayalakshmi then asked little Satyanarayana. He is going to give away that amrita to all the herbs, trees and creepers. This is why he will get smaller day by day.
Mata Jayalakshmi wanted young Satyanarayana to learn the same good habits from the moon. You should eat well now, she told her young son and sadhaka. Tomorrow, when you grow up, you will be able to feed so many others.
So, listeners, we see that from a very young age, the importance of both maintaining one's strength and also sharing one's food to help others to thrive were lessons which were taught to Sadgurudeva Puja Appaji by his guru, his mother, Mata Jayalakshmi.
By incorporating both these lessons into the same story, Amma taught Puja Appaji, and by extension all of us, that we can only perform charity if we keep ourselves healthy. So while you have good health, while you have strength, eyesight, the ability to move around, do not waste such opportunities. Engage in Annadanam.
And engaging in Annadanam does not have to be some huge performance. A simple act which is manageable for many persons is to, every time you are about to cook rice, put aside one handful of rice towards charity. Put those handfuls into a bag, and then once a week or once a fortnight or once a month even, give that bag of rice that has been set aside to a temple or to a needy family.
Of course, you can do the same thing with flour, pasta, dal, beans, etc. But an important aspect of Annadanam, or any type of charity for that matter, is to not feel like you are the doer or you are the giver. What are you giving? You are giving food. But if God or Guru did not bless you with a job, would you be able to afford that food? If the sun and rain did not facilitate the growth of crops, would you have that food? The answer to all of these questions is no. So when you give with the feeling that you are returning to God's children what God has given to you. Consider yourself to be an instrument in this act of God instead of being the one responsible for this act of kindness.
And do it without expecting thanks or rewards. Listeners, selfless action, karma yoga, this purifies our minds. Without purified minds, we do not qualify to receive that knowledge which takes us to that state of moksha or that state of experiencing oneness with God.
So, with the simple act of giving food and charity, practice giving in the name of Sri Swamiji. In fact, if you do so, if by chance you donate something to someone who is not deserving, then any sin accumulated from that act does not actually come to you because you never did the act with the feeling that you were the one doing it to begin with. In other words, you cannot be punished for something you did not do.
May Goddess Annapurna, the goddess of nutrition, be pleased with any offerings of food made, and may she also be pleased with this bhajan offering. Please everyone open the Bhajanmala app or website to bhajan ID number 334 and join in offering prostrations to Annapurna Devi.
Annapurne Sada Purne Shankara Prana Vallabhe Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Bhiksham Dehi Cha Parvati.
Annapurna, Jnanapurna, Sadadatu me Diyamudirna. 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 जयतु पावना जयतु शोभना जयतु पावना जयतु शोभना जयतु निस्तुला जयतु निश्चला जयतु निस्तुला जयतु निश्चला जयतु पावना जयतु शोभना जयतु पावना जयतु शोभना जयतु निस्तुला जयतु निश्चला जयतु निस्तुला जयतु निश्चला अन्नपूर्णा ज्ञानपूर्णा सा ददातु मे धियमुदीर्णा अन्नपूर्णा ज्ञानपूर्णा सा ददातु मे धियमुदीर्णा अन्नपूर्णा ज्ञानपूर्णा सा ददातु मे धियमुदीर्णा स्वापराधनी मोक्षतत्परा स्वापराधनी मोक्षतत्परा अन्नदानस दीक्षिता परा अन्नदानस दीक्षिता परा व्यासगर्वणी वासनिष्ठुरा व्यासगर्वणी वासनिष्ठुरा सच्चिदानंद श्री नित्यभासुरा सच्चिदानंद श्री नित्यभासुरा अन्नपूर्णा ज्ञानपूर्णा सा ददातु मे धियमुदीर्णा 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 अन्नपूर्णा ज्ञानपूर्णा सा
May Goddess Annapurna, the one who nourishes us by giving us food as well as knowledge, bless all of creation. May goodness prevail in the minds of all.
You are tuned in to Datta Arpanam, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Ganapati Swamiji and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited and Kokie Supermart Limited. Special thanks go out to them, as they do to you, dear listener, for sharing this Sunday morning Sandhya hour with us.
Today, prompted by Appaji's repeated instructions to perform Annadanam, or the giving of food in charity, inspiration is being drawn from Appaji's own life story.
When Appaji was only 11 years of age, after his mother and first guru, Mata Jayalakshmi, left the mortal coil, Pujya Appaji and one of his sisters, Varalakshmi, went to live with their paternal aunt, Venkama. Venkama took on the role of ensuring young Satyanarayana's continued spiritual development. In other words, she became a guru to him. And as his guru, one of the disciplines which Aunt Venkama made 11-year-old Satyanarayana perform was Madhukara Vritti.
The way a layperson lives and the way a yogi lives differ. Instead of eating food received from only one household, a yogi mixes food given by 3 or 4 different households and eats it without saving any food for the next meal.
This practice, the practice of begging for food, eating only what was given as alms, and then not saving any for the next meal, helps one to develop detachment or vairagya. It is a discipline known as Madhukara Vritti.
Madhukaram means a bee. A bee goes to many different flowers and collects a drop of nectar from each flower. In the process of doing so, even after entering the flower, the scent of the flower does not become attached to the bee, nor does the bee hurt the flower.
But by carrying pollen from one plant to another, the bee facilitates pollination, which results in the germination of new plants and new and beautiful flowers, which are a cross between the flower of one plant and the flower of another plant. That new flower could not have been produced from just one single plant. This whole process is the vritti or the profession of the bee.
Just like the bee takes a little bit of nectar from each flower, yogis follow a similar discipline of taking a little bit of food from different households. And because the practice resembles the vritti or occupation of the bee or madhukaram, it is known as Madhukara Vritti. Great Maharishis and elders of the past practiced this discipline, and at the tender age of 11 years, Satyanarayana, under the instruction of Aunt Venkama, began to practice Madhukara Vritti.
When Satyanarayana returned from school on the day that he was to begin practicing the austerity known as Madhukara Vritti, Aunt Venkama made him take a bath, and with wet clothes still on him, he set off with clear instructions from her to only beg for alms from 4 households. She even told him which homes to go to and warned him not to go to any other homes. She gave him a sack to collect dry food items, and in it she placed a container into which he could put any liquids he was given. Be satisfied with whatever you are given, she warned Satyanarayana before he set off to beg for food for the very first time. Do not ask for more.
And so, listeners, at the age of just 11 years, young Satyanarayana, who had not too long before that cremated his mother, set out to beg for food. Appaji has said that devotees cannot imagine the feelings within an 11-year-old boy as he stands in front of a home begging for food. No one has cut your heart to pieces, he said.
Yet, having learnt discipline from the Universal Mother herself in the form of his first guru and mother, Mata Jayalakshmi, Satyanarayana treated this discipline as an order from his guru, Venkama, and completed the task of visiting the 4 homes, collecting food and bringing it home.
When he got home, he was famished. He had not eaten in 24 hours. But not only was he greeted by a serious-looking Venkama at the door, but his sister, Varalakshmi, who had been complaining of hunger from early that morning, stood waiting for him with a plate in her hand.
After Satyanarayana gave enough of the food gathered to Varalakshmi, by the look on his aunt's face, he knew that he was expected to give food from what he himself was given to all the sadhus who had arrived outside of their home and were also waiting for food.
Satyanarayana, after giving Varalakshmi food from what he had received as alms, mixed the remaining food items in a container and made several balls from that mixture. He then gave 1 rice ball to each of the sadhus, and in the end, he himself, after begging for food for the first time in his life, and after not eating for 24 hours, was left with only 2 small balls of rice to eat.
11-year-old Satyanarayana resisted the tears that threatened to roll down from his eyes. Thinking of his mother, he put the first ball of rice in his mouth. Instead of feeling like he was eating rice, it felt like he had just put nectar from the heavens into his mouth. Not only that, but he even felt full after eating just 1 of the small rice balls. Yet, because he did not want to waste that prasadam, he went ahead and ate the second rice bowl.
Listeners, these aspects of Pujya Appaji's life history can make one feel sad, no doubt. But we should learn from Appaji, who saw his aunt's actions as a means to teach him to live on alms, and who saw Varalakshmi's actions as a lesson in charity.
In Pujya Appaji's Ashtottara, we see the mantras Shri Madhukara Vrataya Namaha, and even before that, Shri Guru Seva Rataya Namaha. In other words, Pujya Appaji is worshipped as the one who performed Madhukara Vrata or begged for food as a spiritual penance, and as the one who is interested in serving his Guru.
As Appaji himself has said, "Why do you always cry for Swamiji's sake? Swamiji knows what he is doing. He is powerful. There is no need for anyone to cry for him."
So, everyone, let us not cry for Pujya Appaji, but instead let us marvel at his determination and discipline as we join Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji in worshipping him. Please open the Bhajan Mala app or website to Bhajan ID number 747 and participate in the sadhana of offering this absolutely beautiful bhajan at the divine feet of Parama Pujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, who, through his own actions, taught us that even when you have very little, it is still important to share your food.
जयति सप्तति वर्ष पूर्ण सप्त सप्तिरिवांशुमान्
जयति सप्तति वर्ष पूर्ण सप्त सप्तिरिवांशुमान्
श्री गणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
श्री गणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
जयति सप्तति वर्ष पूर्ण सप्त सप्तिरिवांशुमान्
जयति सप्तति वर्ष पूर्ण सप्त सप्तिरिवांशुमान्
श्री गणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
श्री गणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
श्रीगुरुस्मितकिरणजालैर्भक्तहृदयं विकसति
श्रीगुरुस्मितकिरणजालैर्भक्तहृदयं विकसति
अस्य बुद्धावुदयनेन ज्ञानतिमिरं नश्यति
अस्य बुद्धावुदयनेन ज्ञानतिमिरं नश्यति
अज्ञानतिमिरं नश्यति
अज्ञानतिमिरं नश्यति
अन्यदीपस्यानपेक्षा सोहि नित्यं काशते
अन्यदीपस्यानपेक्षा सोहि नित्यं काशते
सोहि नित्यं काशते
सोहि नित्यं काशते
यस्य भासा विश्वमखिलं भाति सोऽत्र विराजते
यस्य भासा विश्वमखिलं भाति सोऽत्र विराजते
भाति सोऽत्र विराजते
भाति सोऽत्र विराजते
जयति सप्तति वर्ष पूर्ण सप्त सप्तिरिवांशुमान्
जयति सप्तति वर्ष पूर्ण सप्त सप्तिरिवांशुमान्
श्री गणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
श्रीगणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
एष सुप्ताञ्जागरयितुं लोकयात्रां संविधत्ते
एष सुप्ताञ्जागरयितुं लोकयात्रां संविधत्ते
लोकयात्रां संविधत्ते
लोकयात्रां संविधत्ते
धर्मकर्मार्थं च मोक्षायाखिलैः समुपास्यते
धर्म कर्मार्थं च मोक्षायाखिलैः समुपास्यते
अखिलैः समुपास्यते
अखिलैः समुपास्यते
अस्य तेजोबन्नरूप त्रिवृत्करणं नो भवेत्
अस्य तेजोबन्धरूप त्रिवृत्करणं नो भवेत्
त्रिवृत्करणं नो भवेत्
त्रिवृत्करणं नो भवेत्
आत्मतत्त्वे निष्ठितत्वान् नित्यबुद्धात् कारणात्
आत्मतत्त्वे निष्ठितत्वान् नित्यबुद्धात् कारणात्
नित्यबुद्धात् कारणात्
नित्यबुद्धात् कारणात्
जयति सप्ततिवर्षपूर्णः सप्तसप्तिरिवांशुमान्
जयति सप्ततिवर्षपूर्ण सप्तसप्तिरिवांशुमान्
श्रीगणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
श्रीगणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
सरिगमपधनि स्वरा अश्व
सरिगमपधनि स्वरा अश्व
सरिगमपधनि स्वरा अश्व भजनयोगः प्रग्रहः
सरिगमपधनि स्वरा अश्व भजनयोगः प्रग्रहः
चक्रभूतौ श्रुतिलयावथ रथो रागोऽयं रविः
चक्रभूतौ श्रुतिलयावथ रथो रागोऽयं रविः
रथो रागोऽयं रविः
रथो रागोऽयं रविः
आयुरारोग्यं प्रदत्ते चित्तवृक्षं फलयति
आयुरारोग्यं प्रदत्ते चित्तवृक्षं फलयति
चित्तवृक्षं फलयति
चित्तवृक्षं फलयति
श्रीजयलक्ष्मी पुत्रो हंस इव हृदि खेलति
श्रीजयलक्ष्मी पुत्रो हंस इव हृदि खेलति
हंस इव हृदि खेलति
हंस इव हृदि खेलति
जयति सप्ततिवर्षपूर्णः सप्तसप्तिरिवांशुमान्
जयति सप्ततिवर्षपूर्ण सप्तसप्तिरिवांशुमान्
श्रीगणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
श्रीगणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
हस्तगमनमगोचरत्वं भास्करस्येवास्य नास्ते
हस्तगमनमगोचरत्वं भास्करस्येवास्य नास्ते
भास्करस्येवास्य नास्ते
भास्करस्येवास्य नास्ते
दत्तविजयानन्दहृदये नित्यमेव हि विजयते
दत्तविजयानन्दहृदये नित्यमेव हि विजयते
नित्यमेव हि विजयते
नित्यमेव हि विजयते
जयति सप्ततिवर्षपूर्णः सप्तसप्तिरिवांशुमान्
जयति सप्ततिवर्षपूर्णः सप्तसप्तिरिवांशुमान्
श्रीगणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
श्रीगणपति सच्चिदानन्दोऽयमात्मा जो महान्
Listeners, today on an episode of Datta Arpanam, in which the topic of Annadanam or food charity is being discussed, that bhajan reminds us that food is not the only thing that can satisfy our hunger. If you are fasting or trying to fast and are finding it difficult, sit in a quiet corner somewhere and sing bhajans like that beautiful one. Direct your mind from Sharira or the body to Purusha or the Supreme Divinity, and just like that, watch your pangs of hunger disappear.
It is no wonder that Ganapati Swamiji, himself a musical genius, can inspire such beautiful devotional songs. You were just listening to Puja Sri Swamiji's second in command, Puja Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji, here on Datta Arpanam.
Thank you for tuning in to today's offering, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Ganapati Swamiji or Pujya Appaji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. Today you heard that while he was still a very little boy, Pujya Appaji's mother and first guru, Mata Jayalakshmi, using the moon as an example, taught Appaji about Annadanam or the giving of food and charity. Then, when he was 11 years of age, he began having to beg for food and then share the fruits of that begging with others, no matter how hungry he was.
And so, once again, we see that no matter what lesson Appaji is teaching us, if we look at his life and how he has lived his life, we can learn from not only his words, but also by his actions.
Listeners, when Dharmaraja, the eldest of the Pandava brothers, went to heaven, he saw that his friend, the king of Kashi, was begging everyone for food. Imagine, a king on earth had reached heaven and was now begging for food. It turns out that when he was on earth, even though Kashi Raja engaged in a lot of charity, for some reason he thought Annadanam was below him, and so he never donated food. This is why he was begging for food in heaven.
Appaji has said that whatever charity we perform in this birth is what we will receive with interest in heaven. So everyone, do what you can. As you heard earlier, it can be a fistful of rice a day. It can be $1 towards food daily. It can even be part of your meal that you feed to a hungry bird or hungry animal. But whatever it is, have compassion for the hungry and share your food with them. Appaji has said that when you engage in Annadanam, 7 generations of your lineage will not go hungry.
And if you are not sure who you can make a food donation to, ask your Pandit or even go to Avadhuta Dattapitham's website www.dattapitham.org. That's www.dattapeetham.org and click on donations, where you will find opportunities to sponsor Annadanam.
Earlier, we worshipped Annapurna Devi, who is none other than Goddess Parvati. Now, before we begin to wrap up today's episode of Datta Arpanam, let us worship the consort of Goddess Parvati, Lord Shiva. Please open the Bhajanmala app or website to Bhajan ID number 1252 and do sing along.
Dishi dishi stam vasasi vivo vasa vasa me prudi shiva vo.
Dishi dishi sam vasasi vivo vasa vasa me Hri Shiva Bho.
Giri giri garjasi puri puri nrutyasi girishara he pura kara vo.
Giri giri garjasi puri puri nrutyasi girishara he pura kara bho.
Dishi dishi sam vasasi vivo vasa vasa me prudi shiva vo.
Dishi dishi sam vasasi vivo vasa vasa me Hri Shiva Bho.
Giri giri garjasi puri puri nrutyasi girishara he pura kara vo.
Giri giri garjasi puri puri nrutyasi girishara he pura kara bho. Dishi dishi sam vasasi vivo vasa vasa me Hri Shiva Bho.
अंधत्वं के अंधकारिन हर हर मे
अंधत्वं हे अंधकारिं हर हर मे.
त्रिशमुच्चान्द्रा दिशमे स्वामी शुभमति वितरण
विषमच्चान्द्रा दिशमे स्वामी शुभगति वितरण.
माता तातो देवी देवो प्रविलसता
माता तातो देवी देवो प्रविलसता.
मम दृक्चक्रे मम धीमार्गे प्रविमल गुणयुजि
मम दृक्चक्रे मम धीमार्गे प्रविमल गुणयुजि. दिशि दिशि
शिक्षं वससि विभो वस वस मे हृदि शिव भो.
गिरि गिरि
गर्जसि
पुरि पुरि नृत्यसि
गिरिशरणे
पुरा हर भो.
तीव्राद्योगाद्वस्ताघन्तं कुरु कुरु माम्
तीव्राद्योगाध्वस्ताहन्तं कुरु कुरु माम्.
विशदे ज्ञाने त्वतमे चित्तं रत्नमपि कुरु कुरु.
विषयगाने त्वतमे चित्तं रतमपि कुरु कुरु.
विशदे ज्ञाने विशदे ज्ञाने विशदे ज्ञाने त्वतमे चित्तं रतमपि कुरु कुरु. विशदे ज्ञाने त्वतमे चित्तं रतमपि कुरु कुरु.
विषयगाने त्वतमे चित्तं रतमपि कुरु कुरु.
शूलाग्रे लग्नं भावात् कुरु कुरु माम्.
शूलाग्रे ते लग्नं भावात् कुरु कुरु माम्.
त्रिगुणा त्रिगुणातीतं समयातीतं वीरजय वीरजय
त्रिगुणातीतं समयातीतं वीरजय वीरजय दिशि दिशि वससि विभो वस वस मे हृदि शिव भो गिरि गिरि गर्जसि पूरि पूरि नृत्यसि गिरिशर हे पुरहर भो
कालातीता त्वं वै मारो हरसि जगत्
कालातीता त्वं वै मारो हरसि जगत्
तनु सौन्दर्ये ननु मारस्त्वं सुमधुर रुचिदर
सौन्दर्ये मन्वारस्त्वं सुमधुर रुचिकर
मारान् मारो जयन्दोळ रसि द्विधा मारान् मारो जयन्दोळ
रसिद्विधा
सततं सत्त्वं सच्चिदानन्दो हृदि मम जय जय
सततं सत्त्वं सच्चिदानन्दो हृदि मम
जय जय
दिशि दिशि
सं वससि विभो वस वस मे हृदि शिव भो
दिशि दिशि वससि विभो वस वस मे हृदि शिव भो
गिरि गिरि गर्जसि पूरि पूरि नृत्यसि
गिरिशर हे पुरहर भो
गिरि गिरि गर्जसि पूरि पूरि नृत्यसि गिरिशर हे पुरहर भो
गिरि गिरि गर्जसि पूरि पूरि नृत्यसि गिरिशर हे पुरहर भो
पुरहर भो पुरहर भो
Listeners, today on Datta Arpanam, you've been hearing about the importance of Annadanam, or the giving of food and charity. But hearing that bhajan, we are once again reminded that Nama Sankirtanam satiates or satisfies our spiritual hunger. So everyone, always engage in Nama Sankirtanam any opportunity that you have. Similarly, whenever the opportunity presents itself to perform Annadanam, or the giving of food and charity, please do so. Imagine what a blessing it was for those people who gave 11-year-old Satyanarayana a bit of food. They didn't know at that time that he was an Avadhuta. Similarly, none of us knows the soul that is within persons to whom food is given as charity. So, give food, give it freely, give it selflessly, and give it with that feeling that you are giving to God.
And on that divine note, everyone, today's episode of Datta Arpanam begins to draw to a close.
Pranams and gratitude are offered at the divine feet of beloved Sadgurudeva, Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji and Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji, without whose teachings, compassion, love, guidance and music, this program would not exist.
Pranams to you, Puja Appaji and Sri Swamiji. Kindly forgive any errors which may have been committed in preparing or in sharing today's episode of Datta Arpanam, and please guide us to avoid such errors in the future.
Special thanks are extended to the staff at 103.1 FM and to the sponsors of Datta Arpanam, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. And of course, dear listener, an extra special thank you is extended to you for sharing this devotional hour with us.
If you would like to listen to today's program again, check out the Datta Arpanam Facebook page, where by tomorrow night, the YouTube link for today's episode will be shared.
Once again, everyone, Thank you for tuning in today. You are invited to please tune in to 103.1 FM again next Sunday at 6 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time for another episode of Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Parama Pujya Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji.
Jai Guru Datta.
Shri Guru Datta. Harihi Om Tat Sat.
सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं कोटिकिरण भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं कोटिकिरण भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं कोटिकिरण भास्कराय श्वेतावर्णं स्फटिकाशीलम् अग्निवर्ण भास्कराय श्वेतावर्णं स्फटिकाशीलम् अग्निवर्ण भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं कोटिकिरण भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं प्रथमत विष्णु मध्यत शम्भो अन्त्या ब्रह्म भास्कराय प्रथमत विष्णु मध्यत शम्भो अन्त्या ब्रह्म भास्कराय छायालूलं चन्द्रापालं गगनसञ्चारी भास्कराय छायालूलं चन्द्रापालं गगनसञ्चारी भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं कोटिकिरण भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं कोटिकिरण भास्कराय श्वेताराधं पूर्णाराधं अष्टमहस्त भास्कराय श्वेताराधं पूर्णाराधं अष्टमहस्त भास्कराय दगज्वालं दग्धज्वालं प्रज्वालाङ्कृत भास्कराय दगज्वालं दग्धज्वालं प्रज्वालाङ्कृत भास्कराय 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 सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं कोटिकिरण भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं अग्निवस्त्रं सच्चिदानन्दं सच्चिदानन्द भास्कराय अग्निवस्त्रं सच्चिदानन्दं सच्चिदानन्द भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं कोटिकिरण भास्कराय सप्तश्वरूढं नक्षत्रमालं भास्कराय 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 ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्